Trinity Financial in-house. We got Brett with us once again. Always love an opportunity to talk with you about everything in the financial burden. There's a lot of questions. You get to see this day in and day out that folks have when it comes to planning that perfect retirement or planning a comfortable retirement. 401ks, big. So do you need to get rid of the 401k when you retire? Does it need to go somewhere else? How does that work when it's time to start utilizing that money?
So again, 401k has become one of the largest assets people have outside their home most of the time. They've been saving in this for 30, 35 years, and they've amassed quite a bit of money. So the 401k companies have kind of become a little bit aggressive, and they want to keep that money under management, if you will. So the short answer to the question is no, they don't have to roll it. But the 401k companies, what they'll do most of the time is they'll transition that into an IRA underneath their same umbrella. And what I find most of the time is that then they start charging them a management fee.
Okay.
So it can be 0.75 up to 0.1 or 1.25 per year. And the other thing is if they keep it with that 401k, they're dealing with someone through an 800 number. So that again, the answer is no, they don't have to. And we're going to discuss a little bit there's one reason why people would want to leave it into a 401k, but I'm a firm believer that most of the time you want to transfer the money out of the 401k into an IRA utilizing multiple strategies.
Okay. So when it comes time to do that, you want to do it on your own, or do you want to set up a plan with a guy like you?
Well, if you have to have a receptacle for the IRA or for the 401k, and it has to be an IRA because you want to do a direct asset transfer. So again, most of the time, and the 401k companies will guide people through this. If they were to call in on their own, they're going to say, where do you want the money to go? They want to have another IRA set up. They even want the account number. Because if the people take it to themselves, the company has to withhold 20% mandatory withholding. Okay.
What are some of the advantages to keeping it in the 401k?
If they allow them to keep it strictly in the 401k, the annual expense ratio is usually very low. Okay. Because you're dealing with a much larger mass of money. Okay. The disadvantage on the flip side of that is you're dealing with someone through an 800 number, and you have only one option within that 401k. Whatever options they have for sub accounts. But the expense ratio in a 401k is usually lower than anything on the outside. But again, I think there's multiple reasons why people would not want to leave it there. But they can. They just have to know what they're doing. They
have to know what they're doing, exactly. Again, I just feel like that's where you come into play here. It feels more comfortable to have someone that you know that's here local that can guide you through some of these questions you might have, because who knows what's going to happen with the 800 number.
Right. And there is, as I mentioned earlier, there's a reason to leave money in a 401k, and it really comes down to when retirement happens. We are starting to see people retire earlier. To start a second part of life, to do something they want to do, whether it's missionary work or volunteer work. There's a rule of 55 for a 401k that if you retire at their age 55 up to 59 and a half, normally you would face a 10% early withdrawal penalty to the IRS if you transfer money into an IRA. If you leave it in the 401k, you can withdraw the money without paying that 10% penalty. Okay, but you have to be over 55 the year you retire, okay, to be able to utilize that rule. So there is a situation, depending on age, where we'll leave a portion of the money in the 401k if they have to have income from that. Because then they can use systematic or annual withdrawals from the 401k. They still got to pay taxes on it, but they avoid that 10% penalty. All right. After 59 and a half, it doesn't matter. They can put 100% IRA because they're over 59 and a half, and they don't have to worry about the 10% penalty. Always good to talk with you, sir. Appreciate it. Again, Trinity Financial, information on the screen, how you can get in touch with them and get answers to any questions that you might have. Much more coming up right here on The Blend. Stay with us.